All right, just like the title says, I've got 3 30-minute projects that I make great gifts for friends and family or for upcoming craft shows. I'm only using the scraps I have left over from other projects, so let me show you what I'm working with here. I've got this piece of walnut that I was using to make a box out of. As you can see, there's some sapwood stuff that kind of made it hard to use. I've got a roughly 1 foot piece of pine. I can't remember what that's from. And I've got a piece of maple. It looks like it was attempting to make a box at one point, and another piece of rough cut walnut. So stick around and I'll show you what we can make with these. I'm going to show you how I make this set of coasters. It's pretty straightforward. They are squares, but depending on the species of wood you use can really make them catch a person's eye. And spend a little extra time with the sanding, the finishing, and the coating, because this is going to be something people pick up and play in their hands, and that's just going to add a whole nother sensory to it. So let me show you how I make them. I thought coasters are a little too simple and people wouldn't really enjoy them, but I did a craft show last year and they were by far the most sought after thing I had. They're really easy to make. You can make them obviously with a piece of old scrap like this, and people just love them. So first thing I'm going to do is start by taking off the sapwood. That way I can get my final width here. Well, I cut this walnut down. If you could go hit that like button, that would mean a lot to me. Even better if you hit that subscribe. You can do that now. You're not going to miss anything, I promise. Now with the sapwood off, I've got an overall width of 4 1/4, and I usually like to make mine 3 3/4. 3 1/2, 3 3/4 is good, so I'll go 3/4 here. So here I just set up a stop block at 3 3/4, and I'm going to cut my 4 coasters. Now I've got a small round over bit in my hand router that I'm going to use. You don't have to. You can easily sand and round these and give them a little contour, but I just like to do this. But first I'm going to give them a quick sand, get rid of all that rough stuff from my dull saw blade, and then I'll round them over and give them their finish sand. Now I got them all sanded down to 220. They're nice and smooth, but one thing I always do, and I highly recommend you do it too, is water popping. Just a light little spray of water, front and back. Rub it in. Don't have to flood it. And then once these dry, hit them real quick again with the same 220, and they're gonna be like glass. Now with that all done, I like to put on a food safe mineral oil. I actually use walrus oil. Been using this for years, it's great stuff. And it doesn't take very much at all, but really makes the grain stand out. That's actually way too much. So I'm just gonna share that. See how that grain stands out? So just lather that up all the way around on all 4 of them and let them dry. Now that everything is dry, just look how beautiful this turned out. I'm gonna try to do something fancy with this little piece of twine, make them stand out a little bit, make them look like a gift. But yeah, these are one of those small gifts that really take minimal effort, but people really seem to appreciate them. They're just simple, don't break the bank, and they're quick pickup gifts if someone's just in the mood to buy something. So coasters are definitely on my top list of easy sells. Next up is another big seller. It's this succulent planter. These are actually pretty fun to make, and you can do a lot of little different designs just by changing the angle of your saw blade and using different types of wood. This is another one of those gifts that people walk by, you can price them fairly, and they're just gonna snatch them up for a quick gift for somebody. So give this one a shot. This might be my favorite one in the video. Let me know in the comments below if it's yours. Let's go make one. So for my succulent planter, I'm gonna start by getting the maximum width I can off this piece of walnut. So lucky I already have a straight edge. I am just gonna maximize the size of this. Now, I'm gonna double this up and sandwich a piece of maple in between. So I'm just gonna measure and see how much of this is actually usable. And we get about 8 inches, so we can do 2 4-inch pieces, no problem. So here, I'm just going to square up my edges and cut my 4-inch pieces. There, I've got a rooster, but I've also got all my pieces cut, so I'm gonna give them a quick sand where they mate and glue them up. So once my glue is dry, I take out of the clamps, and I did take this over to my miter saw just to clean up an edge or two that wasn't quite perfect. So now I've got a nice rectangle. I'm gonna add a little design onto it, and I'm just gonna take my blade here and give it a couple twirls. I don't even know what degree this is at. I guess I could look. We're somewhere between a 25 and a 30 degree, and I'm gonna sneak up on this cut. I'd rather have it a little shallow than too deep. And I'm gonna do this on all 4 outside edges. So there you go. Nothing crazy, just something to soften up the corners and give it a little bit of a unique look. Now I'm gonna drill the hole for the plant. So I'm gonna mark dead center of my pot here to make the hole, and I gotta be especially careful because I didn't realize that I made this 3 1/4 inches wide, and I only have a 3-inch Forstner bit. So I've got very little room for error. My next size down is 1 1/4 inches, and I just didn't think that looked good enough. So I'm gonna mark this out, get perfectly centered, and do my best not to split the edges. Hey, not too bad. I did cut her close though. That was messy. All right, so now it's time for sanding. The Forstner bit usually does a pretty good job on the inside, and it's gonna be covered with dirt, but I'm still gonna hit it with a little 150 all the way around, take the burrs off and make it look nice. Then I'm going to sand the outside to 150, water pop it, and then sand it again to 220. So with this, I'm not going to finish it with the mineral oil, obviously. I'm going to use a nice clear coat. One of the bonuses about using such a big Forstner bit is I can actually get my spray can in there and put a nice light coat on the inside of the hole. I'll put a couple of those and then it'll just make it more resistant to water when you water your plant. Now, I'm probably going to put 2 coats on the outside. I'll just do 1 on the bottom later. You can see the way this clear coat really makes the 2 different woods stand out as well. There, just like that, you've just made a beautiful little succulent planter. This isn't quite dry yet. I just didn't want to wait to finish up the video. But yeah, as you can see, that was really easy to make. So go ahead and give it a shot. Last up is the quickest and easiest of them all. It is a wall hanger. And it's really up to the buyer what they want to put on it. It could be candles, it could be a plant. And for you, the builder, if you put a little clear coat or something on it, it can actually last outside too, so people can use it for their seasonal decoration. So let's go make one of these. Next up is my 12-inch piece of pine. So with this, I'm going to make a wall-mounted candle holder. And what's great about these, if you get another small piece like this kicking around, you can make a second one, sell them in a pair. So first up, I'm going to cut this right down the middle. I don't need this to be 9 inches wide, so let's head over to the table saw. So I'm just going to cut this to 2 even pieces. One will be for the candle holder part and one will be for the back. So I'm going to have 2 pieces at 4.5 inches. So pretty straightforward. I got 2 matching pieces here. One's the back. One's going to be for the candle holder. Obviously, I don't want it to stick out this far, so I'm going to cut one into 4 inches. See how that looks. Save this other cut off piece because I'm going to cut a 45 on it and give it a little feng shui. So I'm just going to find a spot that I like the looks of, so somewhere right around there. I'm just going to measure from the top side down to the bottom, and I got 4.25 inches. So the reason I want the line on the top is because I'm going to be able to see it when I'm putting my piece on and make sure that I'm not going crooked. Make it nice and thick. All right, so I got that 4.25 measurement. I'm going to go to the back side now. Do the same thing. This is just going to give me a reference for my screws I'm going to put in. So I'll just make a light mark here. So anywhere below that line within 3/4 inch, that's where I'm going to put my screws. So I'm going to pre-drill them first. Just put a small amount of glue on the front side before I screw it on. And I'll snug one up. Make sure my line's still lined up there, looks good. And put the next one on. Now typically I'm not a big fan of using screws, but this is going to be on the back side of a wall hanger, so no big deal. So I'll let that tack up and I'll go make my little decorative angle piece. There we go. So I'm going to give this just a quick sand. This isn't something you're going to be putting your hands all over, so I'm not going to be near as picky as I was for like the planter and the coasters. So yeah, I'm just going to buffer down real quick and get ready for the stain. So now with it all sanded, I'm just going to apply a coat of stain. So there you go. 3 30-minute scrap wood projects complete. That was easy. If you like this video, I'll be making more in the future, so be sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss them. So until next time.